Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Sumit, and here I'm with my second part of the series. And in today's video, I will be going to show you that how do we enable the Postman extension in Visual Studio Code and how do we use it to make a REST request onto Salesforce directly from a Visual Studio Code with the help of Postman extension. So if you have checked my previous video, in that video, I explained that how do we set up and configure external client app, and how do we use that external client app in order to make a request. So this was the external client app I registered in my previous video, name as REST test app. We have configured this external client app earlier, and we also extracted the consumer key and consumer secret. So yesterday in the previous session, we already like in my previous video, I explained how do we make a post request from Postman to Salesforce by using external client app connection. And when we send a request, we'll get a response from the Salesforce, and then based on this access token and instance URL, we can further make get request. So this much operation we have already done in the last video. In today's video, I will be going to show you that how do we enable the Postman extension pack in our Visual Studio Code, and how do we make a request directly from Visual Studio Code onto Salesforce, basically the REST operations. So for that, the very first step is I need to navigate to the Visual Studio Code. So let's open my Visual Studio Code. So as you can see, this is my Visual Studio Code environment. That's my Visual Studio Code platform. And in this Visual Studio Code, I will look for extensions here. Extensions. So I click on extensions. And here I look for extension name as we have to search for Postman. Postman streamlined API development and testing with the power of Postman. This one, we have to install this. So I click on install. So once this Postman get installed, we'll get a Postman icon over here, which will help us to submit the request to our Salesforce or to any third-party platform as well. So you can see the Postman has installed successfully. We can close this. And here you can see I'm able to see the Postman option here. So I click on Postman. Now, when I click on Postman, uh, right now I have already signed in. As you can see, I've already signed in into my Postman Postman environment. So we have to, before we proceed, before we start making a request, we need to sign in. So I click on sign in. And when we click on sign in, it will redirect to the org. It will redirect to the Postman environment. It will open the Postman environment. So you have to click on open. Then I continue using Postman with SFDC member. That's right. So this is the Postman org. I've already signed in over here my Postman. So I say yes, open Visual Studio Code, allow identity get Postman. So I say yes and open Visual Studio Code. And now if you'll switch back to Visual Studio Code, you can see the Postman will be able to configure successfully. And once the Postman will configure successfully onto our Visual Studio Code, then we can make HTTP request. So I click on new HTTP request, and I'm going to make a HTTP request onto Salesforce using Visual Studio Code Postman. So I'll just let me Yeah, let's change the method as post. We need to enter the URL. So I will copy paste the same URL which I used yesterday, which we used in our last session. So this was the URL. So I copy this URL and paste it inside here. And when I click send, see this 200 OK. That means connection successful, request processed successfully. Now we'll make a new request. So I'll say new HTTP request. Method will be get, and to get the data, what we need to do, we require instance URL. Instance URL slash services, okay, slash services slash data slash version 64.0 slash query question mark q is equals to, let's say, select name, comma, phone from account. And we are making a request. But before we make a request, authorization need to be done. So I say bearer token. And I will be using the same authorization, the access token, which I received here. So I'll paste that access token here. And now once I submit a request, you can see I'm able to see the response. So like this way, not only we can query records, but we can update records, we can delete records, or we can add a new record onto our Salesforce org directly from Visual Studio Code. Now we don't have to download and install Postman. It's already enabled in our Visual Studio Code. So that's all in this video. If you like this video, if you feel that this video is useful for you guys, or you have learned some new things, so don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to AITechone or my YouTube channel for more practical tech content. So you can reach out to us. You can reach out to me on the given numbers, or you can drop your email for more inquiries. Keep watching, keep learning. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.